I'm going to be taking you through how to make a fun custom animated poster for Clips in Keynote. And then we have some fun teacher examples at the end of a Clips project on how to make the perfect Milo. So I decided that I really wanted to try and create my own animated poster for Clips, and I was thinking, how can I make sure that my animation is the correct size or the correct resolution, and how can we create that animation? So I thought, let's go into Clips, have a look at something I've already made and see if we can work out something from there. So pulling up something that I've already been working on, I took a screenshot of this poster and then tapped on my screenshot and cropped it to the size of the poster. So from here I airdropped it to my MacBook so I could find out how big the poster size is, and then I could create a custom Keynote template with animation and try to export that as a movie, and then that would work to pull back in to Clips as an animated poster. After airdropping over my screenshot, in Finder I went to locate it to find the width and the height so that I could set my Keynote to a custom size. So within Finder it's already displaying for me the width and the height, or I can click on my screenshot and using a keyboard shortcut, Command-I, pull up some information and find out the width and the height measurements. Then I can open up Keynote and I'll show you how to create a custom size in Keynote. To start off with, I have selected a basic black Keynote, and then I'm going to modify this template. Over on the right hand side, I'm going to select Document, and if you move down to slide size, you can see at the moment it says widescreen. If I click on here, I can choose custom slide size. All I need to do now is type in 2048 by 2048, or whatever size your image is, and choose OK. Now that's quite large, so let's zoom out. 25% is quite small, but this is how big my canvas is going to be. Now all I need to do is change the color of the background, add in some custom shapes, and then animate them. So I'll pull up the one that I've made and talk you through how I put it together. So here's my completed custom animated poster that I'm going to use in Clips, and I've made this in Keynote. And I'll pull it apart and show you how I put it together, and then you can make your own one. So the first step that I did was to add in a shape and then resize the shape to be the same size as the slide. Over on my Format tab and Style, I changed my color fill to be the right color green for Milo. And then I created these custom shapes in the middle here. So the different custom shapes that I've created on here is this white shape, which is the shape of Australia, and then this yellow outline or tick, and you can see on here it's got quite a large advanced gradient fill, and I've changed the angle of this, and I've also worked on changing how the gradient appears on the shape by pulling in or out this green line, which changes where the gradient sits. The last custom shapes that I made is the text. So at the moment it's in a big group, and if I ungroup it, you can see that there's a double layer of the letters. So each of these letters is a custom shape, and then I copied and pasted and changed the color. Now I'll go up to shapes, and I normally always use the square and then just modify this. I'll resize it. Sometimes I change the color depending on the contrast and what I need to see. Pull down the opacity, right click and choose Make Editable. And then you've got the handlers around the outside that you can manipulate. Double click on a sharp point and then it becomes a curved point. Double click again and it goes back to a sharp point. And then I just manipulate all the different points to create the shape that I want. It can take a little bit of time to get perfect. The best thing to do is just to practice with it and play around with trying to move those handler dots into the correct position. Sometimes you can put in too many dots, and that's fine, you can always delete them out again. The easiest way is probably to go in a direction, so I kind of didn't follow just one flow then. So choose a start point and then flow around from left to right or right to left, and that keeps the flow of the shape much better, and then you'll notice you don't have to add in as many different points to your shape. Once you're happy with your custom shape, you can click off it, pull back up your opacity, and then change it to the color that you need it to be. If at any time you're unhappy with the shape and you need to change it, just right click on it again and go Make Editable, and then move those handler dots around until it's in the right position. If you're unhappy and you want to delete a point you've put in there, right click on it and choose delete. Once I made all my custom shapes, then I decided how many elements I wanted on the screen to animate and then grouped my shapes accordingly. So I decided I only wanted 3 animation elements. So the background white or the Australia, the gold tick outline, and then the letters in the middle. So these were 8 different shapes or 8 different letters. So I grouped them into one group so that I would animate 1, 2, and 3 parts. So if I click over here on animate and pull up my build order, I've got my shape 1, which is the white Australia, as twist and scale. I've then got a pop of the text and a trace of the outline. I've made sure that each of them have after transition so that when we export this as a movie file, it'll automatically play, and you want it to automatically play so it creates a self-playing animation, and we need that in clips because when we hold down that pink button, we need our movie to animate. If we've got it on click, then nothing's going to really happen. So after you've gone through, you've made all your custom shapes and you've decided how many elements you want to animate, go through and animate them all. Make sure it says after transition or after build 1, or maybe you want things to come on together, so you can choose with build, and then test it out by hitting play to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So I'm pretty happy with that animation now. I think it's quick, it's not too long, and that's what we want for an animated poster on clips. Now I'm going to airdrop this over to my iPad and export it as a movie. After I finish creating my custom Keynote animation that I'm going to use for my animated poster in clips, I airdropped it from my MacBook onto my iPad, and then I can export this out of Keynote as a movie format and then bring that back into clips as an animated poster. So to do this, tap on More in the top right hand corner. Tap on Export and Movie. I just want to do one slide at a time, so I'll tap on Slide Range and I'll choose 1 to 1. Tap back on Movie Options and tap Export. After it exports my movie, I'm going to choose Save Video, and that should save into my photos or my camera roll. So over in Photos, you can see that Keynote has exported this as a movie file. And when I play it back, it runs all of my animation that I want. Now I can pull this into clips through the library. So let's start a new clips. Tap plus or create new. Now normally you would go into the poster area and use one of these pre-made animated posters by tapping on it and then tapping on the text and changing what it says, holding the pink button in and waiting for it to animate. But what we've done is created our own short little movie file with an animation over time in Keynote, and we can pull this in through the library and then pretty much do the same. So let's delete this one to start off with. So I'm going to tap on Library, and that's going to go into my photos or into my camera roll. And then I'll find my exported Keynote as a movie and tap on this one here. Now you can see the time and a playhead and a little horizontal bar, and if you move over this, it's got the seconds there and the animation. So now we can use this in the same way as a pre-made animated poster, but we've made it ourselves in Keynote. So all we need to do is tap and hold on the pink button like we would do with a poster, and then talk exactly the same way. How to Make the Perfect Milo by Miss Forrest. How to Make the Perfect Milo by Miss Forrest. And this really opens up a whole new area, because now you can create your own animated posters using a Keynote template and then just deciding how many elements you need, how they're going to animate over time, export that from Keynote as a movie file into Photos, and then using Library, you can import that short video back in the same as you would an animated poster.
How to Make a Perfect Milo by the Squad.
Step 1, grab a cup.
Jokes, you're out of here, cup. We don't need you.
Okay. Real step 1, get a whole Milo tin. Grab some milk, pour it in the top of your tin until he's nice and strong.
How to Make the Perfect Milo by Miss Forrest. Step 1, find a cup or a mug. Step 2, grab a spoon. Step 3, grab your tin of Milo. Step 4, put some Milo on your spoon. Step 5, maybe a little bit more Milo. Step 6, put the Milo into the cup. Maybe add a little bit more Milo. Maybe add even more Milo. Or maybe we'll just add the whole tin in. Step 6, grab some milk. Then add some milk in, but not too much. Step 7, grab a spoon and enjoy your Milo. How do you make your perfect Milo?